How astrology actually works in 3 minutes or less. There's a lot of people out here pretending to know how astrology works and then using it to manipulate people, so this is actually going to be a really important video. I think I've met two people my entire life that understood how astrology actually works. Everyone else is just going off of some book they read or some person that taught them or just making things up as they go. I've had several people try to manipulate me with astrology to try to get me to fall in love with them or date them, to question my own beliefs, or actually socially engineer my behavior. But fear not, because once you watch this video, you are going to be impenetrable to manipulation by phony astrologists. Every heavenly body has its own unique effect, and every single object in the universe is connected to every other object in the universe by fundamental forces. We'll start out simple here and then get to the more complex. Just think about the moon. When the moon is full, people actually get a little crazier. There is extensive and significant research that proves that during the full moon, crazy things happen. There's an increase in animal bites, human aggression and violence, hospital visits. Whatever's happening with the moon, its fullness, and the light has a psychological and physical impact on the world. For instance, during the full moon and new moon, the tides are actually bigger. And we are 80% water, so it must pull on us more too, which has an actual effect, a measurable effect. Now, this is actually true of all heavenly bodies. So let's say when Jupiter is facing us and its red eye storm is passing in front of Jupiter so that we can see it, it has a different and profound effect on us physically from electromagnetism, gravity, and radio signals. So imagine that when you're a fetus and you're developing in the womb, all of these forces have some sort of effect on you. Maybe if you're born in January and that's when Saturn's rings are facing us, it has an effect on the growth of certain cells in the brain, which leads you to have a certain kind of psychological disposition. This is how astrology actually works. And the ancients understood the specific effects all these planets had. They built many of their buildings to try to understand the trace and track of all these planets through the sky and the effect that they had on them. So when you do an astrological reading for someone based on their birth charts, it all has to do with the positions of these planets, the electromagnet, the gravitational, the radio, and other forces and signals that affect the child as they develop for those 9 months. So imagine that when a human being is conceived, it creates a sort of universal snapshot of the cosmos in that moment, which makes you very unique and different from everybody else because you're the only person to be born when all of those forces were emanating in the way they were emanating in that moment. And then, of course, in your life, during your life, and with civilizations, the rise and fall of empires, the planets, and the heavenly bodies have other effects as well.